I am Johnny from ultimatepapier-mâché.com, and this week I got started on a dinosaur. I actually intended to make something else this week, but when Valerie out on YouTube suggested making a dinosaur, I thought, oh gosh, that would be so much more fun. So I got started on this guy. It's a Therizinosaurus, and I did make a pattern for it. You can download it if you want to and follow along on this project. It's going to take several weeks. I don't know exactly how long, but it's going to take a while. And if you get started, you might actually get finished before I do. You could also make your own pattern if you want to. Using my last video, I show you exactly how to make a pattern for the inside of any kind of animal, and certainly you could make one for a dinosaur. Nobody knows exactly what a Therizinosaurus actually looked like. So a lot of artists have come up with different ideas of how he might have looked, and your guess is going to be just as good as anybody else's. So if you'd like to go ahead and make your own pattern, I'll put a link to that video down below too. So there's two links down there. Be sure that you check those both. If you watched my last video on how to make a pattern for the inside of an animal sculpture, you might have already guessed why this one looks a little bit cobbled together because it's kind of a recycled pattern, as a matter of fact. So you probably won't want to do it exactly the same way I did it this time. You're kind of seeing the how I do things when I'm just doing it on my own. Normally I wouldn't have the camera turned on. I would just go ahead and put something together like this and pretend I'm more professional about things than I was this time. But I decided, oh, what the heck, I'll just go ahead and turn the video on, let you see what I sometimes do when you guys aren't looking. So why exactly does he have so many things chopped off and taped back together, and just why does he look so weird? Well, here, I'll show you. I'm going to get a little bit of help from my friend the kangaroo. This is actually pretty close to a dinosaur already. That's why I decided that this would be a really cool way to make use of this pattern, even though I don't really want a kangaroo. I'm going to have to move his tail. I'm going to have to change the shape of his legs just a little bit so he stands on his toes instead of on his heel. And I'm going to have to make that neck a lot longer, and I'm going to have to make his head a whole lot smaller. And so right now I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to start chopping up my kangaroo. One of the favorite sculptures that I've made so far is a bulldog, or a pit bull type dog, and it's about the same size. And it started out with a pattern on the inside of a draft horse, and by the time I got like halfway done, I decided, no, I don't want to make a draft horse, I want to make a dog. So this is not unusual for me to do this sort of thing, but I don't usually tell you guys about it. So now you get to see what I'm like. You see, this is me. This, I don't want it sticking straight up. I think I want it this way, maybe this way. He doesn't stand up anymore, and it's going to take a long time before he gets to stand up again, and he's front heavy, so that's going to be a problem. I haven't quite figured out how to make this guy stand on 2 feet. I think that would work. When I was drawing out the pattern, I realized that if I'm going to have him standing on his toes, I'm going to have to move this bone, because otherwise he's going to be standing on his toes and his nose. That wouldn't be so good. But this should be possible to just move it back here. Let's give it a try. Okay, so that matches. It's just his foot is going in the wrong direction, but I can fix that easily. Here's his foot, and I'm going to put it this way. Like that. It's coming along. It's getting there. He's going to be standing like this. And now for the fun part, I'm going to chop off his head. Okay. So now here he is, and his head goes over here. And it has to be a lot smaller than that. So now we got a much smaller head. It says I need a much smaller head even than I have. It's hard for me to believe that an animal that big would have such a teensy little head. Now tell me, do you do things like this? Do you kind of get the urge every once in a while to just say, to heck with it, I'm going to do something that's totally unreasonable and just go ahead and get started? Start ripping things apart and putting things back together again? Am I the only one who does this sort of thing? I don't think so. You may be more methodical. You might think things through a little bit better than I did. And I would have, if I didn't happen to have a kangaroo to start with, I would have done this right. I would have done the pattern just exactly the same way that I showed you how to do in the last video. Okay, now this leg needs to get some surgery here. This knee is going to go right about the same height as the belly, which is usual for four-legged animals. I know he's kind of a bird-like animal, kind of, but he's still got a knee where it belongs, so that's where I'm going to put it. The glue is holding on. Hey, whatever it takes. As soon as I have time to start working on him again, I'm going to do the feet. The feet are really large. They're either 3 or 4 toed. They look kind of like bird feet. And I'm hoping that they'll be wide enough so that I can actually get this guy to stand up. If you have any ideas at all about how I can get this 2-footed creature to stand up without falling on his nose and without having to actually attach him to a base, please let me know if you have any ideas at all. That would be really cool. If you want to start your own dinosaur, you can use my pattern. I've got the link down below. If you'd like to make a different kind of dinosaur, that would be really cool. I would love to see it, and I hope you come post it on my blog. And if you want to know how to make your own pattern with your own shapes, check out this last video that I did. It'll show you exactly how to create your own pattern for any kind of animal, definitely for dinosaurs too. So go check that out, and in the meantime, go make something and come visit me, ultimatepapier-mâché.com. I'll see you there.